Okay, this is Scooter Tramp Scotty, and it's January, and we're down here in Puerto Escondido, Oaxaca, Mexico. We're like, how far do you think we are south of the border here?
South of the border here, probably about 1,500 miles.
Yeah, 1,500 miles south of the border.
Yeah.
And while we're here, I want to do a little interview with Terry here. Oh, and I want to say that I'm not here to say that Mexico is safe, or that the U.S. is safe, or that life is safe in general. We're staying out of that. I just want to talk to Terry here because I think he's an interesting character. Okay, so I'm going to point this camera at him, and I want to ask. Say hi, Terry, all your fans.
Hey guys.
He's used to cameras. He worked around them forever. If I'm not mistaken, you lived in Hollywood, L.A. area, didn't you?
Yeah, born and raised in L.A.
Teamster,
location manager for 28 years.
You work for Hollywood.
Films and TV for
Man,
28 years.
I've heard them networks are a bitch to get along with. Did you ever have trouble with that?
Didn't have to deal with them, thank God. That was above my pay scale. You know, my stuff was all on the streets, you know, and dealing with all the logistics and, you know, permits, police, fire, parking, all the nitty-gritty stuff of doing filming.
On the ground
So
stuff.
that was enough to keep me busy and interested in what I was doing.
Yeah, you had a job you liked. I don't know if I've had that. Let's see, 28 years, you retired.
Retired after 28 years.
Right, and not rich, I'm assuming, just comfortably.
I've earned my status in life right now, and I'm comfortable.
Right. But what I meant is, I heard you talking that you came into Mexico and South America, spent 4 years, I think, traveling with a buddy or something?
I spent traveling with my old college roommate. We figured that our retirement dollar wasn't going to go real far in the States, so we started making some trips, looking for a place that we were comfortable, that was easy to get to, fairly easy to get to. And we're looking at a place to build where our buddies could come down, bring their families, hang out. And we went to several countries, you know, Costa Rica, Yucatan, places like that.
Colombia, didn't you tell me Colombia?
And Colombia. And an old surfing buddy, friend of ours, said we ought to try this town called Puerto Escondido. So David came down first. I was wrapping a show. And he came down, and within a few days, he called me and said, hey, it looks pretty good down here. You ought to come down and join me. So I flew down. We met some people, met some real estate people, met some locals.
Right.
You know, spent 3 weeks every day being toured, taken around, looking at homes, empty property, the town, what's going on. And we finally saw a piece of property. We loved the property, we looked at it, we bought it, we built, and that was our story.
Sound like you're real happy with that house. Now, something I found interesting is a lot of these countries, you told me you would stay a month in the town, in the area.
All the places that we were checking out, we stayed at least a month because we wanted to talk to the locals, you know, what's the taxes like, what's property values like, what's construction like, you know, what's labor costs, what's construction costs doing. I mean, because, you know, we were going to come in and then what's it going to cost us to live? What was daily cost? I mean, we were serious about our search. And so we stayed long enough to meet the locals and sit down in the bar and have some drinks and start talking about, you know, what's it like living here? How are things?
And then, but you decided you like this place the most. You come down here when you finally moved. You drive an SUV, right? A big black SUV.
Well, that was just to make my move down here. Otherwise, David actually moved down here. He had retired already, and he was living down here. We got the house built. David, I invested in the house. David was coming out of a big divorce settlement lived up in Los Gatos, California, and I invested in the house to have a place to come to,
right,
for my hangout place, and so that was 2006. We saw and built the house, and I came back and forth. I'd go back and forth, and David started living here at least 6 months out of the year or longer, and unfortunately, at a point in time, few years into this, David came down with esophageal cancer. So he went through this whole battle and lost it eventually. And so I'm partners in the house. His girls own the house. And I got a piece of property. I bought a piece of property right next to it. So I got a little over half an acre that I'm looking to start developing right next to it.
I know you're really happy with that place. You were telling me about it yesterday. All the gringos gather here to have breakfast. Well, at least a lot of them do every morning here. But the thing I found interesting was as you cross the border, pulling a U-Haul trailer with an SUV, right? Everybody tells me don't drive down here. I'm going to die.
Yeah,
it's so dangerous, blah, blah, blah.
I ended up getting my car barely a week before I left, and I'm driving a huge... I was driving a Prius for 10 years, okay, a Prius. And I ended up getting a GMC Yukon
I seen it.
XL.
It's a tank.
XL, it's a tank. It's great. Built in 2001, and that's a truck. And these days, these things are built by the car division. This is a truck. So I have a truck. I got a Home Depot trailer.
Right.
And loaded. My truck, 3 dogs, and 2 other guys.